Wait, what? Well, hey, wait. Well, welcome
What?
everybody to the Sway Batty League Season 9 Awards Show. Sorry for the slight delay, but production quality is required for this top-notch program here. So I'm 30, and tonight I'm joined by Swift, Thrifty, Darth Evo, Hibbs, and Salvo. How all are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Thank God we're done with this season.
Freedom! I will say, sometimes the only freedom from the SBL is just being done with the season.
It was a rough one indeed.
Yeah. So tonight we're just gonna go through. I should say. So the awards were voted on by all 6 team captains, myself and Swift. And as you can see on the left side, they're the categories: All-Star for every position, total season MVP, bargain, bust, letdown, rookie, bench, and then best commissioner of the league, which should be a spicy one. But let's just start it off with the All-Star top here. And what do you guys think we should start with? Second place or first place first?
First place, because I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Okay.
I feel like it's hard to argue for second place without knowing who the first place,
Yeah, I think
so we should just do first place first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, so do you need me to make a post?
Sure.
What do we got? 4 of the team captains in here, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Wait.
Yeah, we do. Yep, we have 4.
Right. Okay. So, let me reveal the first All-Star top. Drum roll. It's Purple Pickle Pie.
Ta-da!
Pot of
No
Greed.
Plot
way.
All right. What do you guys think of that?
I think it was super obvious.
Negative
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah,
he
it
did very, very
definitely
well.
makes sense for him to be number 1.
Seems like this man crushes lane almost every game.
Like, there is just no top laner who compares with what he has done.
Yeah, I'd agree
Like-
with all that consensus.
It's like almost to the point where it's like there's almost like not even much to say about it. It's just like he's the pie. He's done good. Like
Yeah.
he has all the other seasons he's top
I
lane.
think a good way to judge a player is how hard they are to plan against. And Purple this season was incredibly difficult to plan against because he had 3 or 4 picks that were all super strong. He was super good with, and it was basically whatever you let him have, he'll run over you with. So pick your poison.
Like, what do you want him to try and hard carry the game on?
Basically.
And the big thing is, even in their losses, he's always looked really good.
Yeah, and another big thing for me with Purple is that I feel like the top laners, almost all of them took a step back this season, and Purple didn't. So he's looked even better relative to them.
Yeah. Pretty much agree with that. He's pretty much everything you'd want in a top laner in the SBL, in my opinion. He's a great individual player, but also a really good team player, and knows when to take the step back and play the tank.
14 out of 20 points.
Right. Yeah. 24 points. So yeah. Actually, I probably didn't explain that to people. So yeah, if people voted for the first place, that vote is worth 2 points, and if they voted the person for second place, that's worth 1 point. So a total of 24 points here total. And the second place, Scarl Indus. Obviously, if you're looking at the list, I mean, we've included pretty much all the top laners. I mean, QBC had a lot of different top laners.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but this one, I guess, was maybe obvious, but this is pretty close. If you guys see, on the wind, Air Sword, May Scotch, all pretty close.
I think this is
actually could make an argument for On the Wind to be second. I know he was my top laner. He was on my team, so little bias there, but I feel like Mad Cow or Scarl Weindis's performance definitely wasn't as dominant this season as he was last season.
I think the thing was that he had some really high highs, but he also had some low. I wouldn't say they weren't so much lows, but they were just kind of average to a little bit below average. And he was on the team where that's not the like when they didn't have Dub Drum, like that's something he could not afford to do.
I would say like he definitely early in the season teams were banning him out, and which has always been kind of the go-to counter to him because he has like 2 to 3 picks that he's like really good on, and then he like falls off. But teams actually had more success against Coffee House banning out Dub Drum than him, and
That's
just
because like
letting
Dub
him.
Drum was the big player on that team, like on Coffee House. Like he made all like it's something a lot of people have underestimated, but like he makes a shit ton of plays. He ganks a ton.
Yeah, Dub,
he-
Dub, one of the most
Ton of plays.
consistently
He ganks a ton.
underrated.
Yeah. Until maybe
yeah.
now, like he did get number 10 on Swift's list, so like people are definitely paying attention to it. But thing worth mentioning.
I mean, still though, if you look at like, I know score lines don't mean don't mean everything. I'm not gonna say they don't mean anything, but Mad Cow definitely not as very up and down throughout the season. And maybe sometimes he wasn't set up to perform very well, but also he's supposed to be this player that kind of dominates his lane no matter what. And I don't think that definitely didn't happen this season as much. I know against Purple and against Wind, he didn't really go off at all. Also, Wind's, I think, did he just solo kill him? I don't think. Maybe. I don't remember. I don't think he
I
did.
recall
I
Win
don't
solo
think he did.
killing someone, either Purple or.
Oh, he solo
Carl.
killed. Yeah, he killed Purple. I don't think
Yeah.
he killed Mad Cow, but I know that Win's score lines look better even in our first 5 games that were kind of trash. His score lines weren't bad at all, and he was generally getting pretty strong on his champions.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's close. Is all I'm saying. I don't know
I
what
voted.
you guys
I
think.
voted for Win. I don't know. 30. Are we defending the people we think got it slighted, or should we kind of skip that?
Yeah, if you want, no, go for it.
Oh yeah, you guys are fucking idiots. How the fuck did you think Mad Cow was better than Win? Did you guys watch the games this season? Tell me what games Mad Cow went off in. Like his best games, there was the 12-8 Olaf game, and there was a 6-3 Darius game. Like, whoop de fucking do. Mad Cow literally was better in every single regular season game last split. And the thing is, he has like real teammates this season. We keep talking about how Dub Drum's really good, how Salvo's really good, how Cruise Master's like been surprising people and been really good, how their support is really good. Like everyone on that team has been really good. Yet you look at Mad Cow's score lines, like he's had games where he straight up lost with garbage picks like that Cho'Gath. What the fuck? Who the fuck let this guy pick Cho'Gath? Like that was one of the worst picks I've ever seen. It did absolutely nothing. Mad Cow this season was just a mediocre carry player, whereas Wind was a really, really, really good tank player on a team that's probably could have won the championship. And I'm really shocked that everyone thought Mad Cow had a better season. I think if you look at the score lines, I don't know how you can come to that conclusion.
The thing is that you also remember is like how much pressure Mad Cow has been taking into the top lane. Like I'm not saying that like I think there's a total argument for either one of these two. I think like there's a very clear first place, and then there's like a bit more of a muddled second, and then after that like these two are definitely where like the two runner for second. But like Win definitely a better team play, like no doubt.
The thing about Mad Cow is I don't understand why he didn't start picking his champs on first rotation. Because there were a bunch of games where he draw bans in first ban phase, but not all 3. But then,
that's something that I play on the play like the team more than the player though.
I mean, if we're talking about his performance, that's part of his performance.
That's true.
I think maybe if he
I don't
had
know.
picked some more
In a
champs
way,
first rotation,
his
Go ahead.
picks were not good because like if you look at, I know solo queue's a different story, but if you like look at some of his solo queue stats on like champs like Wukong, and you know the impact that a champion like Wukong can have on a, I know it's been I banned it I think against him, but if you know like the impact of Wukong can have on a team fight, like I know that was up a few times to pick and like
He has picked
I was always really scared of the champions he didn't pick.
I mean, he has picked the Wukong. He's actually had decent champion diversity, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely played a lot more champions.
whether or
well,
not that was exactly a good thing.
This
Well,
split.
I think it can easily be said that it wasn't a good thing, but it was also forced upon him due to the 5-ban system where he was taking so many in the early season, and he was just forced to going into so many different new picks.
Yeah,
He
the
essentially had to
5-ban
relearn the lane.
system. Yeah. You either get more bans against you or you get countered, which is for top laners. That's a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that just about does it there. And I'll actually, Splinter, you're the only one who voted for Wind there. And actually, no, Wind was voted. Destiny voted him first All-Star top, but you voted him second.
Didn't I vote him second?
Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, what?
Oh, I heard Splinter. I was like,
I did
really
too.
confused. I was like,
Oh,
CX
maybe
in
I
chat
said
right now?
Splinter. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, we got a fucking upset. We got an extra vote for On the Wind. Get my boys fucking battle.
Yeah, retally the votes, please.
I just did them, no. All right, so All-Star Jungle here. The first place, Master Splitter. Oh,
What?
wow, that's so
Surprise.
crazy. What do you guys want to say about this guy?
I don't have anything to
I
say.
wrote 1,800 characters about this guy. Go read them.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. What's the second place?
1,800 words. Sorry.
I can say something real short. Is that since I started playing this league a few years ago, I think that this is one of Master Splinter's best seasons that I've seen. I think his team was like solid, like Blab is solid. Bot lane wasn't as solid, and then Sword and Mace is Sword and Mace. But if you look at some of the score lines coming out of Master Splinter this season, I maybe it's just selective memory, but I think they're even better than the last couple seasons, and maybe it's because he had to be strong, but also because he carried his team like hard.
This has been like his best. Actually, that is something to mention. He's looking really good this season.
Yeah.
Also, if
That-
if you go back and look at the game he didn't play in, it was just brutal watching that team try to play without him. Like they had
This team
no
does not
organization.
function
It was
without him.
bad.
This team
It was
like
awful.
100% not function without him.
So I think we could all guess who the second best juggler is.
It's Dubdrum.
If
What a
you
surprise.
put Dubdrum on this team instead of Splinter, how many games do you think they would have won?
I like 3.
You think they would have even won 3?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
I
Considering
think-
how
I
different
think
We've
the
had
first
we
and
had a
second
lot of
were.
Pretty good.
we had a lot of.
And I
clowny
think they
games
could have
this
won
season.
a few.
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of clowny games this season.
I don't think Bernie is not like he's not good, but he could be worse, and he plays aggressive. So if you get Dub on like a engage and Lab has a good game, that could have been an okay team. Not like good, but I think they would have won 3 games, 3 or 4.
But either way, that's not first place at the end.
Yeah,
of the
correct,
season.
correct.
No,
Difference
yeah,
between-
definitely
yeah.
not.
That's the difference between first place and not making playoffs. Like,
Yeah, I think not much else to say.
Yep, and then as you guys can see, TD Garbage and TSM Bora Bora taking in some votes there. You know, they had some pretty good performances, but really these two guys are the elite junglers of the league.
well, the thing is that people on Master Splinter had to pick 2 people that aren't him, and then Coffee House had to pick someone that wasn't Dubdrum as well. So you know,
You're right.
if I had
Vote for
to,
one of those.
I was gonna say
By
like,
the
if
end of the
I could
season,
100%
though,
guess exactly what happened there. Like these numbers are really obvious.
by the end of the season, though, like going into the last couple weeks when after Dub started getting banned out, I think Thor's performances on a little bit wider array of champions, like pulling out like the Galio jungle, like I would have rather taken Thor into the playoffs than Dub at this point. But
The thing
I
was
think
is that-
I think as the season as a whole, Dub was like really good.
yeah. That's
The
the thing. It's like you only have a small sample size of games, or like,
Yeah.
or like
Dub's also clutch too. Like he's just generally been somebody who always plays some of his better games come playoffs.
I don't know, not
Here's
that
hoping.
Volibear game a couple seasons ago. You guys remember that?
Are you talking about the Zach game?
Dub also freaking.
No, the Volibear game in the Season 7 finals.
I don't recall that.
That was the game I played Vagar
Oh.
against you guys. It was that game.
Oh.
30 still doesn't remember.
You have to go back and watch and just watch Dub Drum play that
What you
Volibear.
can't see though is that Dub is definitely an emotional leader on his team as well. Definitely one of the best emotional leaders I've ever had. Like he maybe not so much on Boosted Friendship because of how that team operated, but like I feel like he can kind of lead his team very well.
Cool. Well, all-star mid here, and so I won't reveal the runner-up first here, so we can make it a little bit more suspenseful. So this one's actually kind of close here, 11-8. First place is Thrifty Senpai. Thrifty Senpai, what do you have to say about that?
Yay.
Thrifty says, that's correct.
That is correct? Okay.
That's
No.
I may be washed up, but I still freaking lane better than everyone else here. Mid.
I think it's the correct choice.
I gotta see who the runner-up is.
Based on this season.
I think some of the games towards the end of the season,
Not
maybe
really.
like the last 3, were not
Well,
ideal.
also, last night does not count towards voting
Right?
as well.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like the last 3, like the Ari wasn't ideal, and the Zyro was okay. It just, stuff happens. But I think over the course of the whole season, the amount that you kind of pulled kick-ass through the early game was really high. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, you're
I was
still
gonna
just
say,
as
I will
dominant
point,
as you've always been.
if someone wants to argue with me, I will just point towards the early season games.
Yeah, no.
It's like
Looking
10
looking
games.
at the full 10-game season, literally, there's not.
I
Like,
went off,
a bad.
like,
Yeah.
For the first, 6 or 7 weeks, I went off, every freaking week.
So who do you guys think second is?
It
Please
better
tell
be
me.
I think
the
Beyblade.
boy Beyblade, or I'm
Beyblade.
gonna fucking riot in here.
Beyblade should be second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's pretty incredible, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna see Beyblade in some of these other categories down the road. But what about Renai Circulation? What happened this season? Shouldn't we be seeing him here in
started-
second place?
No, we shouldn't. We know this drill with Blab. It's like every season it starts off as like this is Blab's season, and then you know what? It's never Blab's season. Stop getting your hopes up, sheeple. Every season he falls apart towards the end. Like he starts picking Talons and like what was some of this shit he was picking?
Oh
It was
no,
just
the talent
he was
game.
Karma.
the Talon game. Was
Both
bad. The
Karma games.
What idiot puts Blab on Karma? Like
Wasn't it himself? Played himself?
no,
right?
I'm blaming Splinter.
Ah.
But this boy Beyblade, some of his games were just like absurd. Even when the team was losing, he had pretty good score lines. But then if you look at his score lines over the winning streak, like his worst 2 games on the winning streak were 8-2 or 9-3.
He actually learned how to play other champions.
Yeah, that was really big.
Well,
You give him enough time, and he actually got really, really good at Ari and had a lot of really good games on that champion.
Yeah.
even in the first half of the season, he didn't really have. There was a Ziggs game where he went 1-6-2 that was like really atrocious. But that was the only game he had, in my opinion, where he was like super bad. Like his other games were like.
I was not. No, his Syndra games were not terribly good.
He was not very impactful. He was
Yeah,
not
the thing is,
really using that champion
his
to the
score
full
lines weren't
potential.
bad, but the thing is that you're playing Syndra, and those games were totally dictated by early game pressure, which is where Syndra should be 100% thriving early game and mid game.
While that may be true, it definitely was an extension of how bad we were playing as a team at that point. Like he himself might have like that 10-5 and 6 Hinder game probably should have been a win if we knew how to play the game. So I don't think I think that should reflect positively on him that he
I've se-
he helped us get ahead, but we
That
just
looks
as a team we failed.
good and bad to me. Like honestly, it's like one of those things where it's like it's good because like you obviously was like able to like go ahead and try to throw the team on his back. But then I'd actually have to watch the game again, honestly, to see more of it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying-
either-
Are you kind of getting at if you do get that many kills, why didn't you carry? Nothing,
There
or-
might like it depends. Like I actually have to watch the game again. I remember thinking that like at a certain point when you're that big on Syndra that you should have been able to throw the whole game on your back, but that was a while
he couldn't
ago.
really deal with the Maokai.
Oh, okay, there's a Maokai.
Yeah, Syndra
Yeah.
can't.
No,
Syndra
she
can't
sucks
like
against
burst
real
through.
big-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
no.
then
Okay.
I guess I didn't protect Jinx well, and it's
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, yep. Me
All right,
and
I'll
Gabe's,
defer then.
me
I'll
and
defer
Gabe's
to what people are
synergy
saying
was
then.
not on point.
Sounds like it was something that actually he.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, so the point is Beyblade second half of the season was really
He was
really
really
good.
good.
Really good. Yeah, I agree.
I know he's probably looking to come back in the future, and I think he'll definitely be one to watch out for in possible future seasons. Because of his strong rookie showing, now that he has a little more experience, won't have that first half where we don't know what to do and learn to talk a little bit more. So he's gonna be really good.
I sure hope so. I only met him briefly at the last LAN, but I can tell he's a pretty humble player and he's very good and he's young, so we need players like that in this league. So I hope he comes back. But talking about potentially maybe some other rookies here. First place ADC, and actually I don't know who this is. Who is this? Oh yeah, it's the Mighty Wolf. What do you guys think about that?
it's right.
It's the rawest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
Dude's real good.
The dude
I-
is real good.
Yeah, I think by the end of the season, I know when we did the mid-season review, the story was like, oh, the Mighty Wolf's not even the real carry on his team, blah, blah, blah. But I think by the end of the season, that narrative had changed. I think, as of now, he's clearly the best player on Kick-Ass. He's performing like the best player on Kick-Ass. And,
Oh yeah.
like, just the sky's the limit. This guy's team fighting is so fucking good. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, it seems like he could lose the lane but still find a way to come back in on pretty much like every ADC, and that's I think pretty incredible, right? As an ADC in nowadays, you know.
I'd say that
Yeah, for
like
sure.
being able to play every ADC is a little less impressive than being able to play every other champ in like other roles because there's a little less diversity. But it's still very impressive, like how he has gone off and done super well on like all these different AD carries every freaking week. My performance declined in the second half of the split. Like that is for sure, especially like after like the last like 2 or 3 weeks I did not do too well, but he freaking stepped it up like a monster and just absolutely beasted.
Yeah, and second through the other places here, Cammer. What do we have to say about
What?
Cammer?
Ouch.
Oh wait. So what's up?
How the fuck does anyone think Cameron was better than Salvo?
No, that's the correct choice.
No, no.
No, that's right. Okay, so here's the reason. I
He's
think
diamond.
Cammer performed like he definitely had some bad games, but so did Salvo. And Cammer probably had a worse team. It definitely had a worse team, and definitely had a worse support. Like your support helps you so much in the early game not suck, and I think the 2v2 of Cammer and Destiny, like it was kind of all Cammer, and the games that they did win, Cammer definitely had a lot of strong performances.
The thing that bothers me with Cammer is sometimes it looks like he just, and this is more of a problem as an AD carry than any other role in League, where you try too hard to carry into force plays, and because you're the AD carry, you just start like feeding, and like Cammer still has some of the dumbest stats you'll ever see a really good AD carry have, and it drives me nuts. And I feel like there's games where he just like keeps the enemy team in it by making a bad play.
Like where we beat him because our Poppy walked up to him and slammed him into a wall when he was in the front of his team. Like he's diamond and he's making that play.
Cammer is like Brett Favre on a bad day. That's how I've always kind of felt about him, where it's like he can have these games where he's the only reason his team is in the game, but then he can also throw that all away himself too. And I thought Salvo was really, really consistent in all of his games.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree with that.
I think Cammer. I just think that Cammer had a worse team. Like I think that he did just as much as Salvo with a lot less. Like I think that like if you look at some of these performances that Cammer had, some of his high kill games, like his, well, first off his week 10 victory against Coffee House where he had like 14 kills and like brought his team, kind of dragged him across the finish line after the game stalled out a little bit. Like that's the kind of player that Cammer is, and I think that Salvo is a little. Salvo definitely capitalizes on his team's successes. Like he takes the couple kills that a jungle gank gives him in lane and then runs over you with them. But I think Cammer a little bit more creates his own success. And I think he's just a little bit better. And I think the other people who are voting on it agree with that because they saw the same thing. If the other AD carry that's not Salvo wants to agree with me, that'd be great. Matt or Evo.
Yeah.
Well, can't argue with that.
Evo 2017.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's I'll wrap it up there. All-star support. And the winner is Hook Resets for first place. A rookie getting the first all-star support here. What do you guys think of that?
Really?
Really?
I'm kind of surprised.
Why would you be surprised?
I'm not really
Because
I'm
I'm
surprised.
I saw him.
I mean, if
do
you
well on Thresh.
look at the support pool though, that
Yeah, the
also kind of
support
helps
pool
his
is
case.
Real terrible.
Yeah. Support pool, this is legitimately one of the weakest support pools we've had in SBL history. But he's been really good for the half of the games. I like when you guys moved it on to him, like it was a combination of things. But like he's been really solid in the bot lane. He's done a lot of work for 1GB, and I think he was a vital part. Like him and like Beyblade finding their identities was just like what made that team really start coming together.
Yeah.
Combine that with the good team play, and it made them a very scary team in the second half.
Yeah, and the reason I voted for him all-star support is he is like the only playmaker support in this league, and I value that pretty highly as trying to be one when I played League. He does obviously have some games where he's not as explosive and he's not as flashy, but the games that he does, it looks like he's just carrying the whole team on his back. And obviously with OTB on the second round robin, your guys' macro game was like completely stellar, and that just doesn't happen if your vision game isn't good. So I can only expect that he was very good at warding and knowing where to be, because he was getting so many hooks like on people that just didn't expect it.
In that second round robin, he had 3 different games where he didn't die. And like he was consistently making plays in those games. That is so fucking hard to do. This guy was a god this season. This is the support you dream of having on your team in the SBL.
Yes.
Yeah, he's probably as my third season at ADC, he's easily the best support. In lane, I would say in lane, he's definitely not like a leader like 30 is, but in lane and then like knowing how to play out the macro game, knowing how to follow up if someone makes a play, like he's one of the best supports, and like you can see it in like throughout the solo queue season, throughout this season, he's gonna be a diamond player by next fall. He's gonna be diamond 5 by the time the next season rolls around, because he's really that good.
He definitely is that good.
Wow, really?
He's plat 2 right now, and now he can play.
If he plays half
one
the solo
tricks-
queue games
yeah.
like that Thresh, he will go.
He one tricks Thresh, and now that he has like Zyra, if he ever like has a really bad Thresh matchup or something, he can play Zyra and just carry the bottom lane in damage. Like, I think when he started playing Zyra, after the mid-season review, when everyone was like, "Hey, OTB is garbage," which was true. Me and him basically told each other, like, listen, we're gonna play lane bullies because we're good at them, and we are going to ram it down everybody's throat for the rest of the season. And we picked Ashe Zyra, and like I think we made Bernie back with like 2 CS or something like that, like his first back, and like a lot of that was hook resets, knowing how to bully a lane and just abuse these really low level supports that are just trying to get through the laning phase so Splinter can tell him what to do later.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty crazy. I actually didn't have any idea what his solo queue rank was. Like, I totally forgot. It makes sense now. So, yeah, he is definitely gonna be another player to watch out for, like Beyblade next season. And the second place all-star support, Sensory GG.
There's a couple games there, or one game in particular that I remember where they were behind by quite a bit, and he was playing Blitzcrank, and he was just landing hook after hook throughout the mid game and just brought that team back super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one as well. That's just the second round robin.
If you want a highlight game from support, that's one for you right there.
Yeah. And it actually showed that he could play 2 completely different styles, because the first round robin he was all like these very
He had,
supportive.
the Janna, Karma, those, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then he like starts picking Blitzcrank. He played Nautilus at least one game. But yeah, he's playing like these tanks, melee range, super aggressive. Yeah, he was very good. I mean, obviously Sentry GG and Salvo as a combo, as a duo lane,
Have been a
might
really
actually
solid
be the
combined
best
fit.
duo lane, like together, if their power level
As
was
a- yeah,
measured.
I think that's like definitely something you could consider. For
Yeah,
Sure.
because it's just Cameron and Mighty Wolf have some weaker supports than Sensory and Salvo are. So
I would say they're really good outside of lane. I wouldn't say in lane. Well, the 2 times me and Hook played against them, they didn't really pick to win lane, which factors into it. Like, if they would have had the Ashe Zyra and we would have been playing Jinx Janna, we probably would have gotten destroyed.
No, I agree with
But
you. Salvo's always
Sensory-
been like that.
Sensory is a very, very solid player. I like me and Hook, when we were preparing for Sensory, whenever, like, I don't know if this was on purpose, if like Sensory actually like keeps track, but whenever we started practicing supports in like together when we were doing, like the next day, like Sensory would have like 3 games of the counter to what we were playing. Like, I don't.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I don't know if that was on purpose.
He's going
but,
hard.
Like, he plays so many different supports when he practices. Like, his pool is huge, including some supports that I think are just like he practices misfortune support into bad matchups, which I think is like dumb. But like his champion pool, like you can't predict what he's going to play because of how many supports he plays.
Yeah, he definitely has a bigger champ pool than Hook resets, but I guess in this case it was just a matter of performing well on
Hey,
on the two
if they're
supports.
not gonna ban your best champions, why wouldn't you just pick your best champions? That's what I gotta say about our shitty champion pools. Is like if you're gonna give him Zyra, why would
Yeah.
why didn't you just pick Zyra? But Sensory, like I literally never knew what that guy was gonna pull out ever.
You and me both.
What?
Even his
figured.
own AD carry
I
doesn't know what
figured.
he's gonna play.
Dude, he could play anything. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, Selva, what do you have to say about this guy? You haven't said anything.
I mean, that pretty much covers it. Like, he plays literally whatever style you want. I couldn't ask for anything more because there's nothing more to ask for. He covered it all.
Okay. Very good. Well, let's move on to one of the more important categories, and unfortunately, this one isn't super close, as you guys can see the point values. 20 points going over to Master Splinter as the season overall MVP. Was there any doubt in anyone's mind?
It depends on It depends on how you picture valuable. I mean, even in multiple ways, he's still the MVP. But
Yeah.
based on value to the team, it's really not even close because that team does not function without him. If you're looking at just best player in general, he's still, I'd still consider him the best player from this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, yeah, I kind of go with who is he valuable in the context that he is in, and he totally is. But yeah, if you just go pure like mechanical like solo queue standing type of a rating, then yeah, I still think he's probably one of the best players in the league. I mean, it'd be interesting if he actually liked. Did he like 1v1s? He never,
No, he's always been
No.
weak. He's not a strong laner.
yeah,
Yeah, anything to do with the lanes.
Yeah.
He's a jungler.
I know.
The only thing he likes
yeah.
to do in the lanes is gank on them.
Yeah,
And get the kill.
yeah.
And I also like farm them when there's no one there, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, not much to say about that guy. Second place, though, Purple Pickle Pie. Now, there's probably a lot of arguments here for second and third place. What do you guys think of this?
Well, it depends on what third is.
Yeah, I personally didn't. I don't think I had him on my list, but when I was like preparing for this today, just like revising, I was like, you know what, Purple probably, like, I wouldn't argue with him at second place at all. He was a huge asset to his team, playing like dominating on carries from the top lane. So there's definitely no arguments, even though I didn't have him at second or third. I think I made a mistake actually.
I mean, looking at your choices, though, I guess we'll get onto the third place here. It's the Mighty Wolf. So you hit two of those in your votes.
Yeah, I didn't. I had I think I had Thrifty, who's probably the
Yeah.
fourth place. Really
I
should-
personally would put Mighty Wolf over Purple, but
That's how I have it.
All right. So what's the argument there?
I think that Purple has a better team overall to work with. And I think like Wolf's been having to do he's been playing like an AD carry and he's been having a lot of impact. And when you're having an AD carry that much impact, it's a lot harder to have that much impact than it is as like certain other roles sometimes. And he's done it like every time.
Yeah, as an ADC, the two, well, you rely on your support first and your jungler second, and his.
And that's like the two weakest members of that team.
Yeah, I know Zwerbs isn't like, he isn't as good as some of the other supports in the league, and Bora, I mean, he's silver. You can't really expect him to really impact your lane heavily against a high level jungler, even though he'd had some good games for sure. So Wolf definitely had a little bit of a rough time in some of the games where it didn't go well, but I think that it was impressive. But on the flip side, like Purple had like a very hit or miss jungler, and then his mid laner was also like silver. So like I don't think Purple had it much easier, and he's still carried
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
thing
games.
about me versus Purple versus Wolf is for Pot of Greed to win, they basically needed Purple to have a good game. And like in the first round robin when they went 4-1, like it was Purple having a good game every single week. But Wolf, he didn't have to have a good game for Kick-Ass to win. Like he was really fucking good, but he could straight up have a bad game and they could still win because of Thrifty. And I think that's why Purple was more valuable.
Fair enough.
I think it's rightfully close, and your personal opinion is right as long as you have reasons to back it up on that one. I think.
Hibbs, you're really good on the desk, but we got to teach you how to shit on people.
My question
I'll
is...
work
who
on
voted-
it.
who-
i'll work
my-
on it
My
for the
question
bust.
is,
Okay.
who voted for Hibbs in the
Alright.
MVP when he didn't appear in any of the support, or any of the
can
other
any-
positions?
Yeah, can anyone
Like, straight
tell
up,
me?
what-
Because
Veil Destiny voted you the second place MVP.
Even though he didn't appear on any of
Alright,
the
so
positional
let
all-star.
let me try to come up with an argument. First of all, Hibbs was not on my ballot. I'm gonna just try to imagine in the head of a failed Destiny here, and
Okay.
I'm gonna say Hibbs was the heart and soul of the One Trick Bronies who should have been in the playoffs. It was all him turning things around as a team captain that made that team good, and what he did in those 5 games where he was doing it right is clearly like what got the ball rolling for that team.
I would agree. That's the
Yeah.
only route you can go down.
I don't at all believe that, but I could see
don't
that
believe
might
it
be
either.
Failed believes it though.
I generally try to make a habit of not voting for people because I think they're the best leader on their team. Because, like, within the context of just one
Right,
season,
yeah.
you're making way too many assumptions there.
Especially when you look at like Sinister Beyblade getting like 10 kills a game in the second half of the season, you're like, what is
Yep.
Hibbs? What is Hibbs actually doing in these games? It was-
I voted that boy second on my MVP list. But I'm not going to complain about him not making it. I think they were good choices.
All right, now we get into the spicier.
Yeah.
Into the really spicy
Yeah,
stuff.
see, I like these categories the most. These are, I mean, obviously they're like less prestigious, but they're more interesting to hear the arguments, and they always have more people in the voting, which is pretty cool here. So
Except for this one, looking at the 11 and the 3.
why is there a 4 votes that's not in second?
oh well, yeah, just assume
wait a
that's supposed to be
Guys.
right. Oh wait a minute! Holy shit! Wait,
You
let
tell
me
the
let me
votes.
The 30
hide
mess up?
this. Let me hide this for a second and review
Oh,
my
no.
notes. Well, see, the thing is,
it's
I
a-
don't even know who's on here. Let's find out.
Oh no!
Oh shit! Is this right?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Oh,
God,
shit! This is
everything you said was
spicy,
a lie.
actually.
You botched it.
No, because I don't believe this at all. Oh wait, actually no, I do believe this. Yeah, let me fix this temporarily.
Well, you didn't reveal the players and then realize afterwards, like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't
No,
win, by the way.
thanks
Sorry.
for the heads up there, Swift. Yeah, I edited it last minute here so we don't see anybody. And
Don't need to pull a Steve Harvey here.
Steve Harvey. Oh, that guy. All right, that's much better. Let's hide that again. Boop-a-doo. All right, so first place bargain of the season goes to Cruise Master at 25 cents to call
Yeah.
house.
No doubt there.
No doubt. Why is that?
Like, he's done consistent. Like, he's been the mid laner that team needed, and he's a fucking quarter.
Yeah,
Like-
if you're 25-cent mid laner, like goes pretty even, and then like also carries some games, like that's a good pick. I mean, like, and like he did carry games. Like I can't even like kid myself and say like, well, you know, it was the higher ranked players on his team setting him up for the plays. Like he carried some games legitimately. Like a couple of his early season Zyra games were like super solid. So even though he had like a decent jungler and like a pretty decent team, I felt like his individual performance for a 25-cent mid laner to be like not feeding is good.
Like,
And he did more than that.
when like there has been a lot of SBL championship teams that have been like dedicated, like sometimes that's like really what makes and breaks a lot of teams. It's just like how good your fucking quarter player is. Like, and Cruz is good enough to be that quarter player that like wins you a series.
Yeah, honestly, would anyone agree that this is Cruise Master's best SPL season ever?
Best
For as long as I've been around.
Absolutely not. That's just wrong.
It's not
Go
as
on,
best. It's
Swift.
definitely not as
Go
best.
on, Swift.
But let's
I
hear
wanna
what you
hear
guys
it.
say.
Yeah, we need to consult Swift, the SPL historian.
Let me tell you about the 3
Well,
years
commissioner.
where Cruise Master was my teammate. Okay, there was a period where Cruise Master was debatably the best support in the whole league, and a lot of people don't give him the credit he deserves because he was my number 2 that whole time, and he kind of had that reputation. But Cruz was legitimately very, very good as a support. This is one of his best seasons, but some of his best support seasons were better than this.
Okay.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
Purely-
Selby. You're a fucking
purely
idiot.
because
I
of
don't
the
value
average
anything you
talent.
say.
I don't
Well,
value anything I say either.
let's
but
let's maybe all agree on second place here, which is kind of close if you look at the numbers here. 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. It's Phoenix Blaze, another 25-cent player.
I'm gonna say what I said just now. If your 25-cent mid laner isn't feeding, he's doing okay.
yeah.
And I didn't personally. I think I was one of those dub drum votes. But for your like low silver mid laner to come in and like, well, first of all, he like beat like solo killed Wang like twice. Although I don't put much stock into that because Wang like walked into all of his abilities. but
Oh my god.
but
No, dude,
still,
he
like
couldn't see the Ziggs bombs. He swears.
like that is totally not bad. And for your 25-cent silver player to be a like an okay starter on your team and know his place, wave clear mid, let his beast of a top laner and Diamond 80 carry do their thing and just throw out abilities, like that's 25 cents well spent.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, Dubjump, he did have that very big question mark in the draft. You know, whether he's gonna be able to play or not. So that brought his price down a lot lower than what it probably should have been.
That yeah,
He was trying to pull a
like,
purple.
Yeah, he successfully pulled a purple. Like
Yeah.
he did a great job.
Yeah, you know, I might be available, I might not, so don't worry about picking me that high. Comes in, actually
I mean, to
does
be
pretty
fair,
well.
we all thought Coffee House would suck, like starting the season off. So, like even with that $2 handicap, like we thought they would we thought they would be bad, and they weren't. So
Yeah. Any other comments on these other players here? Maybe some people
I
wanna
think
rip
this
into
is an
some
award.
players.
No, I think this is just an award that mostly comes down to how you interpret bargain. Like, I had Dubdrum as my second vote, and that's just because to get one of the best players in the league at their position for sub $2 is a ton of value.
Yeah,
But
that is-
this is, I think, the most room for interpretation of any of the awards.
how would you guys
on-
feel about like a Sinister Beyblade going for like mid $2?
I mean,
It's
I
not
would have
enough of
understood it
a
in
bargain.
its rookie
Yeah, I don't
season.
think it. Yeah, I don't think it's enough of a bargain, but it's rookie. It's also a rookie. Yeah.
Well, one of the rules for bargain of the season was $2 and under.
Yeah, that's
If
Never mind
otherwise,
then.
I would have definitely considered voting for him. I had him on a lot of my other lists. So
That's I looked at your votes, Swift. That is very true. Yeah, no, honestly, I maybe should have taken so the $2 rule has just been something that's been on the ballot for at least a couple seasons.
I mean, I
Probably
think
should have
that's
taken
fair.
the median price, or I guess the average price, and then maybe take a half of that or something. Yeah, there could have been a more mathematical way to get, the
I think
players that are
$2 is
truly
fine.
bargain. Yeah, but yeah, it's because exactly it's $20 limit, $2, very very bargain.
Yeah, like when you think about it, it's like you're averaging $4 a player, like for a main squad. If you count the fucking like 6 play sub, it's $333 a person. So it's like less than an average player, and he's not an average player. So
Yeah. Very true.
I actually feel like Bernie Sanders' bot should be ahead of the 3 people above him, ahead of Zachary, Bora, and Frisky Senpai. I think Bernie, like in some games, actually, like he commits to fights, and that's all you can really ask for out of like a gold ADC. So like I actually think he performed all right. Like in a league with like, you know, Camer, Demighty, Salvo, me, and Evo. Jesus, that's like easily the most stacked position, and I think I'll be quiet, Zach, and he's talking shit in the. He's wrong, but I think Bernie could have been okay.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely really good team player. And like on TSA,
Yeah.
they when they went in, they like all went in. And I know these don't include the regular season, but if the tiebreaker week was any secrets of what's to come, TSA was like on point with like team fighting coordination. Like we're going in, we're gonna play Wombo Combo, and we're just doing it. And Bernie Sanders follows that really well. But let's move on to Bust of the Season. Now this,
it's always a fun category.
It is. Just be gentle, guys. Who do you guys think it is here?
Sasquatch #1.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
$8.50, dude.
$8.50.
That price killed him.
I killed our entire
There's
team.
only 2 people in the league that should go over $8 at the moment, and he is not one of them.
Yeah, that just seems like a drafting. Yeah,
Like,
drafting.
If you're not
error.
the Mighty Wolf or you're not Master Splinter, you shouldn't be going over $8.
I don't think anyone expected John to be an $8 or Sasquatch should be an $8 player. Like no one actually expected that, but I think whoever drafted that was clearly looking for the synergy. Because I know he plays with Evo a lot, and so
we only
like
played bot lane at the end of the season and actually did. That's when we did better.
Right. But like before the season, you guys duoed and stuff, and I think that like that's why it was drafted that way. But you should have given up on that draft pick after $6 or so.
I was not
so
even on the
bad.
team at that point.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
their first pick of the draft.
Well,
it was before Wang took
that's
over the draft,
interesting.
so that was actually picked by John Gruden. And I just feel bad for Sasquatch because it's like that was arguably one of the worst draft selections ever in the SBL in all 4.5 years of this. Like, who could possibly justify paying $8.50 for Sasquatch? I can't even imagine like what train of thought I would have to take.
I
to
can
get
only
there.
think of like, okay, so who are the players in the league that have gone for over even $8? Like, think about that for a second.
Splinter,
Like,
Hammer. Did Hammer even go over $8 this season?
it's like Camer, me, Wes,
Did Wolf go over $8?
Wolf. Yeah, Wolf went for
I mean,
10.
that was a bidding war. I don't know
Yeah.
who he was bidding
Yeah,
with,
no.
but that was a bidding war.
He was
Yeah.
bidding against a genius, is who he was bidding.
Hammer was 925.
Or
Wolf
just
Yeah.
another
was
idiot who
10.
was
Yeah, it's
slightly
like-
less of
Well,
an
I mean,
idiot.
Probably
those
another
are all
idiot,
those are all
but
like people who are like either like it's Camer, like they're all diamonds. Like it's me, Wolf, Camer, Wes. All of those people are like big, like people at one point were like massive in the SBL, or currently are massive in the SBL.
And not only that, Sasquatch, like at this point, we gotta say he has a history of bad role swaps. Like this is now multiple splits in a row where he's been like, I can't carry this team by playing support. I'm gonna role swap to something else, and then he goes to either AD carry or mid, or I think he's even played top and jungle. Like he's played a lot of roles, and he sucks at everything like that isn't support, but he keeps doing it. And when he's done it as many times as he has, like that's a problem, Trends.
Yeah.
I actually think he's a totally fine ADC, but his mid and jungle, I mean he can play he can play the roles. Like he's not like a complete feeder, but like his impact on the game is definitely less at those roles.
Yeah, I think the reason he went for so much is because the lack of shot calling and like maybe macro game thought was gone this season, like with me and Swift being out and some other people. Also the support pool. So I mean, was Sasquatch obviously drafted to be a support?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so. You don't spend $850 on a support either. Like,
That's true. So I mean, I'm not arguing against it. This was a bad draft decision, but I'm just trying to think of maybe why it would be higher than what we should think it should be. But obviously, it didn't pan out that way. Second place, and the other runner-up here is my Wang at 425. Any other surprise here?
No.
I think it's kind of funny that he's a bust at only $4.
That just goes to show how bad he was.
Well, like
last year was year of the Wang. It's over now. Like, Wang's back.
well, okay, so Pot of Greed is basically like is a very similar team to Muffin Men because of the same, like the two carries are the same, and they're doing like pretty okay with the silver mid laner. So what does that say like about Wang last season? Like he performed well, but all he had to do was perform decently, and Camera was playing better. Like I don't know. Maybe we should have seen this coming, but he looked
just,
good.
The shock of like what he did with some of his games, like the 410 at least game is like a huge one.
That's exactly what the problem was with Wang. It was like he never had a bad game gracefully. He had like a stretch of some of the worst score lines you will ever see in the SBL. Let me
like
one sec.
when Wang had bad game. Like the thing was like he didn't. Not all of his games were like atrocious. Like his Nunu game was fine. Yeah, I remember he played like an Ivern game that was like all right, but like when he had bad games, they were real bad.
There was a stretch where in over 4 weeks in the jungle, Wang went 137, 174, 064, 410, 4. Like that's straight up inting.
Hey guys, you remember that one Shaco drive-by game? Bot lane?
That Shaco game, I've never been like so ashamed of someone.
That started
I
Wang
care
watching.
about.
The Wang watching. Hashtag Wang watching. Oh yeah. Well, honestly, what the $6 Mad Cow though? I I don't know. I mean, Wang obviously played way worse than Mad Cow, but so you could say something about $6, star top laner, right? Not doing that this season, at least not yet.
I think because of how even like the season ended, like you QBC is gonna fill out a lot of these, well, the next two as well, kind of like bad, like like they're gonna get the negative awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to look for anyone that finished like whose team finished 6-4 and just say that they sucked. But I think Mad Cow is just like good, but he definitely you know what, $6 isn't even a whole lot. I think that's totally a fine purchase with the way he played this season.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people would agree with you there. Only got 3 points, but as you're saying, let's move to the next category. So this is letdown of the season, and for viewers, the distinction between bust and letdown is just general expectation and hype. It doesn't necessarily have to be linked with the actual draft price. So first place letdown of the season, my Wang.
Really?
Really?
People
Like
had
I said, that just goes
expectations?
to show you how bad he was.
I mean, don't we usually expect Wang to be like at best a coin flip?
The thing
I
is,
think
like, Wang in 2016 was legitimately a pretty good player.
Yeah,
Like-
it's fair.
Like, it seemed like he had finally turned it around. He stopped playing jungle. That was the big thing. We got him out of the jungle, and he has 2 good splits in a row, and it looked like Wang had finally figured out how to play pre-made. And, you guys want to know what the real problem with Wang is? He got a girlfriend, so he stopped playing 200 solo queue games a month.
Ooh, that is actually a good point.
I just found this out. Wang's only a gold right now.
Whoa. How
Like,
does he
Wang.
really play the game anymore? Like outside of practice, like Well, team practice law. I mean,
What team practice?
yeah, I know.
Lawrence,
I mean-
all his powers.
Yeah, I don't
When-
see him on like ever.
The thing is, he still plays a fair amount. Like this season, he has. Oh Jesus Christ! He still has 300 games this season.
300 games in Gold 3 is.
But he's Gold 3.
Is kind of unacceptable for my wing, to be
Yeah,
honest.
like this is a guy who was in mid plat for a long time. I don't understand how you could like play as much as he has for as long as he has and suddenly just drop off a cliff like that. But
Well,
it happens.
he's playing dumb champions. Like he's not playing the champions he's actually good at. Actually, if you look at like his most played, like this like the Tryndamere thing that he did. I don't know. He's like was good on like Anivia, Aurelion Sol, like these mages that kind of just sit there and farm like Zillion, and I just don't see like the same like attitude in his picks. Like pick Talon. He has good win rates on all the things I'm calling him out on, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So by comparison, last season he had 120 Aurelion Sol games. This season he has 12. So I don't
It
know.
still is on the earlier side, but yeah, that's still not even on
He has
pace.
300 games though. 12
How
of
many
those
total
were
games?
on
How
his
many
best
total games
champion.
did he? How many total games did he have last season?
I don't know where to check that.
a lot.
A lot. Ranked
Wang
games?
mostly played Aurelion Sol when it was like super meta, and I think he kind of stopped playing it after that.
Aurelion Sol hasn't like gotten a nerf or a buff or much
At all?
of any changes since the beginning since he started out. Maybe like right after, but I think he actually got buffed. Like
Well,
he's
there
still
was-
a good champion.
There was a point where everyone was playing it in LCS, and that's when Wang was playing it for Waifu Superstar. And now we've been at a point for like a year now where it's just Hu He that's playing it. I don't think Wang's been playing it a ton since then.
Yeah, I just think if he would have brought the same like not Ari like mage champions to mid lane and just farmed it out and got strong, like he probably would have had the same season. But maybe it was just bad strategy. He's never been like a good like strategist, right? I would.
No, he's not. He's one of those guys that has a hard time
I'm
evaluating
just
himself
trying to
effectively too.
diagnose his problem here.
And that kind of like it all comes back to the QVC problems where like when he's got somebody on his team, he's like, no, Wang, dude, just fucking practice this, pick this. Like he can have some success, but I don't think Sasquatch was that guy. And I think that over the course of the season, he lost respect for his teammates, and then like Wang just starts inting after that happens.
Yeah, that team definitely didn't have emotional leadership.
I don't think that team had any leadership.
or leadership, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've said a lot of bad things about QVC. Can we just throw one nice thing about QVC out?
Sure.
Evo, you almost got my second vote for All-Star ADK.
Thanks, man. I
You were
appreciate
really,
it.
You were really fucking good this season. Your team was such a like a hot dumpster fire.
To be honest, I felt like I actually performed kind of poorly, at least below my expectations of myself. But going back and kind of looking at the games, I'm kind of like, I actually didn't do too bad.
Yeah, I think you were fine. You're literally the only person that can walk away from that season and be like super satisfied.
He's
I
the
don't
only
know.
person that can walk away from that season and go for the same price next season.
So I feel like there's a good sports analogy here. Like a superstar athlete goes to like a shitty team, but then goes back to that other team next season and does really well.
So what am I, Mike Trout now?
What?
Yo, you're like Doublelift going from TSM to Team Liquid back to TSM.
All right, we're not
Oh!
talking traditional sports here.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take the esports analogy.
We've got 21 viewers, and I bet like 3 of them are going to get any traditional sports reference we make.
That's very true.
But everyone knows about our boy Peter Pang.
Oh yeah. Well,
On to the next one.
yeah. Well, second place. Yes. Scarl Wheat Indus as letdown of the season. Now this is super close for everyone else here, and some names that we would maybe expect Cameron. Wait, Cameron. I guess yeah. I could see someone voting for Cameron here, but
Yeah, I think that's.
any other surprises, comments on these other players here? Gabe O'Neill, obviously.
Yeah.
Swift, what do you have to say
Forgot
about
that
your buddy Gabe here?
You know, times have changed, and so have I. I think Gabe will be on the team next season. I think he'll be fine on that team next season. But obviously, if you watch a player get swapped off their starting roster and then shoot through the roof like OTB did, you could justify that votes. But Mad Cow, yeah, this guy. I know I was kind of harsh on him earlier. Just compared to what he did last season, where he's still going up against like the same pool of top winners this season, I just don't feel like there was really any Mad Cow games this season where he just dumpstered his lane opponent and solo carried. And I was super disappointed by that because I had such high expectations for him for what he would do, and it was just he would go even or barely win or even lose lanes. And I was like, where was the Mad Cow, the rookie Mad Cow? He never lost a lane.
Yeah.
I mean, did he ever lose lane to anyone that wasn't like purple or even like wind?
He went even in a lane against Scotch where he should have won the lane like really hard. I think it was like Darius and a Poppy
Wasn't
or
Scotch
something.
playing a decent? Wasn't
He was
I know
playing
Scotch
Poppy.
played well into him with a decent matchup.
Scotch played really well that game though.
Yeah, Scotch also was like pretty solid in the top lane, but we're past that point. I don't really like Scarl Weindis at number 2 here, cause like I thought he still played pretty well in a lot of his games, and he did get focused a lot more top lane about jungle pressure and stuff like that. I think I was the vote for Failed Destiny, or one of the votes for Failed Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny would actually. I did not vote for him. Actually, I don't even remember what I voted. I just remember I was like, I sent them and I was like, these are all terrible votes by me for my letdowns of the season.
Yeah, you
But,
voted for Hibbs first, Evo
Yeah,
second.
no. I'm pretty sure I was like fucking panicked, and I'm like, I just need to pick something right now because I had to go to bed.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Because no, I do not agree with that at all. Like I see most of their names on here, and yeah, those are all.
Thanks for that.
So my apologies for putting you on a list you did not deserve to be on.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, no.
I think like Destiny was supposed to be like a, and I guess in a couple seasons, a couple seasons ago, he's been like just like really solid, and
Yeah.
I felt like some of the games this season, like he wasn't close to solid. Like
No, I agree. I was really disappointed in Destiny this season
Yeah.
because he has been solid and he's like inted in games this season.
yeah, he got hooked so many times.
I've seen a lot of plays. I'm just like, what are you doing from Destiny? Sometimes, like, I love the guy, but he has not had some good games this season.
So if we actually take Failed Destiny and he plays the way that I think we all expected him to play in this season, especially filling in the slot, between like Purple and Camer, just being that like generally good support player, how good would this team have been? Like even better than it is the place where they got now.
Better than it is right now, but
not marginally that much
you
better.
would see more. I think you would see Camer playing better.
yeah, you'd see more lane phase like dominance.
Yeah, I think that's one of Destiny's greatest weaknesses is his laning phase and not knowing kind of where to be in the lane, and it kind of forces Camer, and Camer already plays like a little bit more passive than like Wolf would. So like his main champions like Caitlyn and Ezreal, like he definitely plays back. So maybe it didn't affect him a whole lot, but against worse players, he probably could have played further up in the lane if he had a support that like was right there with him, and they would have dominated lane a few more times.
Yeah, certainly. Moving on. Rookie of the season. Now look at this, folks. 10-9. This is a close one. First place to Mighty Wolf.
Yeah,
I mean, for someone who has come into the league, what was All-Star ADC? The Mighty Wolf, yeah. So, I mean, to
Yeah.
come in and to actually be one of the premier players in this league. No, he is, granted, like, a really good solo queue mechanical player, but just still be a rookie in organized play, like the SBL, and to do this well, and to be, like, pretty consistent. I think that's pretty remarkable.
I think that's really good. Like, I mean, that's actually funny because we've had this happen in 2 seasons in a row now. We had Cameron come in last season and be like, "Yo, what up?"
Yeah.
And now it's the season we got Wolf, and he's like, let's go higher.
Yeah.
So next year we obviously go ahead and get I'm a Cutie Pie or Double Lift to join the prestige of the SBL and stick us all.
Right. Well, I guess Thrift. Yeah, he's on your team. Has he played organized play before, like 5v5?
Yeah, he is. Not as far as like.
I still don't think this is outside the realm of what a Diamond ADC, Diamond 2
Yeah, I agree.
ADC
No.
should be doing.
I
I think-
agree. Like, he's performing like what he should be. It's not like when you are that good, like you do have to have fucking some semblance of like game sense when you get that high. Like, I've seen plenty
Also-
of people who have like really good mechanics and just don't get higher because their game sense is fucking garbo.
Also, I think AD carry is by far the easiest role to transition from being a solo queue talent to being a pre-made player.
Yeah, jungle being the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's definitely... I think for Wolf, like, this should have been the expectation for him coming into the season, and he's just, lived up to the expectation. He's been fantastic, but I assume he expected to be fantastic.
Yeah. would
I
agree.
think, yeah, and I mean, there's a reason I rated him number 1 in the most valuable on the value list. Going back, like, if it's the same next season, I'd probably put Splinter in there just because of the carry potential, and like full game sense, full game impact that Splinter has. But everyone expected Wolf to like. I think everyone expected him to like run over everybody actually, which is why it was a little disappointing when like he didn't in a few games.
Right. Oh, wait, you're talking about Mighty Wolf not dominating the
No, I'm saying like I think he was even on like Phil Destiny's disappointed because I think Destiny thought that as a Diamond 2 player he could come in and just like dominate everybody. But early on in the season there were some struggles on that team where it didn't exactly happen that way. So, but I think later on in the season he lived up to the expectations of what you would expect like a high elo player to do to not high elo players.
Right. Second place, and then the rest of everybody else, Sinister Beyblade. And so some people in the chat thinking it's hook resets. What went on here, guys?
Both were really good.
Well, I guess the thing is that I think there's pretty consensus that Mighty Wolf was going to be number 1. I mean, I don't.
That's close.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It ended up being
not.
pretty close.
Yeah. I guess in the I mean, both of them are OTB, right? So I guess like they were kind of like fighting
Split votes,
within
maybe?
their team. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still a little disappointed.
I
'cause
think just because
I
the
think-
mid laner probably stands out with all the
Yeah.
kills and stuff like
I'm
that.
surprised that Hook didn't get more. I'm surprised I didn't get more votes than the one I gave him. So, a little upset. I'm not like upset, but I think he deserved a little bit more recognition.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like Hook in the chat. Yeah, he only played 7 games. Beyblade played all 10. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they both, for being rookies, they both played to the top 2 of their roles, right? Beyblade got
Yeah.
and then Hook Resets got first all-star support. So yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to best bench of the season. This season, really hard to determine really what a bench player was. Other
Yeah.
SBL seasons, there was like the 6th player like not seeing any playtime, like not even close to seeing playtime. But I mean, we have teams like QBC, OTB, and like you guys are switching players around like left and right. So I guess the qualification for this season was 5 games or less, and because of that, we're gonna get Gabe O'Neill as our first place best bench, even though he was the starter for the first 5 games. What do you guys think of that?
Like I said
Um,
earlier, I think we've seen enough out of Gabe where it's just like there was something wrong with that situation on that team where it worked better with him not being on the roster. But if he plays next season, I think he'll start for a team. He'll be a solid starter, just like he was last season.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that like we happen to be the team with 6 players who all could start on any team. We didn't have like a low elo player, so someone had to kind of get the short end, and the way that the shot calling and synergy kind of worked out, Gabe kind of had to be the odd man out, and he definitely he's definitely better than every other. If you just look at like skill at the game, he's way better than anyone else on that list. Way better, and I think a little bit he like lost interest in League of Legends, as a game. Like I don't think it was as fun for him, and so just with practice time and everything, I think it didn't work out. But if he does come back, I think he is the type of player that excels when his team kind of has a go button that's not him. I think he'd rather sit in the back of a team fight that he has a big tank line to initiate, which is why I think he did so well on Splinter's team last season, when Splinter probably is like go now, and everyone everyone goes, everyone jumps when Splinter says jump. So I think he could be really good on a team like that. But on our team, it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah. And then the rest here, Frisky Senpai. Honestly, I thought this might have been a little bit closer, because there were some games of Frisky. There were some good Frisky Senpai games, like really good in my opinion. And he was someone that was flip flopped, like in and out. Unlike Gabe, where Gabe was like in and then he was like out. Frisky was like in and then he was out a week and then he was back in. So he was actually kind of being used as a bench in more strict definition of the term.
He played like 3 different roles.
That's true, yeah, and he was just like the automatic like fill-in guy. Like just you're playing this role this week. Hopefully you can play a couple champions there. And surprisingly he does. Like he played in the tiebreaker week as well, and did all right, if I recall.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I just want to say, 30, did you start this by saying you thought this might have been closer?
For what?
As you led into Frisky Senpai, like, I thought this might have been
Oh,
closer.
sorry. I should have said I thought Frisky Senpai should have been first.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah,
they actually
it is super
could
close.
have been closer.
Yeah. The other two here, Isona Carry, Slice Spread. Oh, Slice Spread. Isona Carry only played 1 game, and Sil Spread played 2, I believe.
I want to give props to whoever watched that Soul Spread support game and thought, yeah, he was the best bench this season.
Dude, he played Rammus jungle.
He played supports in the second round robin. It was the week they played against Cammer. Because I remember watching Wolf try his hardest to carry Slice Spread out of that lane and like going even with Cammer, and I was just like blown away by how well Wolf was playing in that game.
With the Sil Spread support.
Yeah, somebody asked in Twitch chat about it.
Yeah. That was legitimately surprising that he could like try to hold his own in that situation.
Yeah. That was freaking amazing.
All right, we're coming down to the last category of the night. Best SBL commissioner of all time, guys. I'm so excited to reveal the best SBL commissioner of all time. Is there just what the fuck?